There's no question that it's a difficulty to interest younger people in going to concerts. Part of the big difficulty is the fact that music education in virtually all of the world is just not what it used to be. I mean, there are some wonderful exceptions like Venezuela, but basically almost everywhere I go, the reality is that this is not a part of life. And so I think probably we, the musicians, have a bigger responsibility than ever before to fill in this gap, to try to, in every way possible, come to the public. You know, first of all, to students, to schools, you know, students of all ages, and beyond that, I think to break down whatever barriers there are. You know, to make, I don't want to say to make concert life and music making accessible, because in a sense I think it's supposed to be in some way a mysterious thing, but to not make the height of the stage seem like a barrier that exists between the audience and the performer. I think that's not something which does any good. It doesn't make the atmosphere in the concert hall any better, and it certainly doesn't help bring people into the concert hall. But having said that, I think it's maybe possible to exaggerate the size of the problem. The majority of the audience for a long time now has not been young. I think part of it has to do with, you know, lifestyle. It's not so easy to find the time, maybe, you know, for people with young children, for example. And the audience seems to always find a way to regenerate itself. But basically, yes, any way we can make music seem like a necessary part of life to young and youngish people, I think anything we can do, we should do. I just recently started to record all of the Beethoven sonatas. I made the first disc of, it'll be 9 discs eventually. I made it last year and it was released just now. 4 of the sonatas, the Les Adieux, and 3 of the earlier ones. And as I was beginning the project, the other thing that I did was I wrote, I don't know if I should call it a book or an essay, it's somewhere in between, it's 30, 40 pages, about the process of recording the Beethoven sonatas and about, you know, what these pieces mean in my life, which is called Beethoven's Shadow. It was published on Amazon. It's called a Kindle single, meaning that it's available not just on Kindle, but through the Kindle store on just about any screen you could read it. And it was incredibly interesting to write it because, first of all, writing is very different from making music. You know, when I make music, I'm not a composer, I'm an interpreter. The music is there already, I have to figure out how to play it. Writing was about dealing with a blank page and putting words on it somehow, turning something which is only in my head into something actually tangible. So it was a really, really interesting process. I learned a lot about, I think, about the creative or the compositional process, what it means to do it, and I learned a lot about my own feeling for the music. I think things that I probably knew, but which were certainly clarified in the process of writing. So it was a very, very gratifying thing to do. In a way, I think definitely deepened my relationship with Beethoven, with the sonatas in particular.